Hey everyone, it's time for the Tarot Snapshot. It's Sunday, May 12th, 2024. It's Mother's Day. The Tarot Snapshot is a 3-card reading giving us an idea of where we're at in this moment, the things that vex and perplex us, our challenges, as well as the things that will heal and reveal the guidance that we need to get through. Now, I set the intention by just saying that this reading is for anybody that crosses paths with it, including myself. So I'm going to get a lot out of this. Now, something that I want to bring up is this. I'm about to use a little bit of my grandmother's French, so bear with me. Okay. We're talking about moms here, and this could apply to dads a little bit, but we're going to talk about moms. And even though I'm not a mom, I've been a dad and I've done a lot of momming. I've had my son full time since he was in the 6th grade for some really, some unfortunate circumstances caused that to happen, and I was very happy to be in that place to take him. And just the same way, single mom sometimes has to play the dad, single dad sometimes has to play the mom, and I've been in that position. Now, as a parent or a mother, we're going to talk about mothers, they can become what I call bullshit hunters. As soon as they become of age, it's like the world teaches them to hold the world up on their shoulders and look out for everything. So I want to talk about bullshit hunting for a moment. We can look for the bullshit. And what I mean by that is, you got to pay the bills, got to get the animals to the vets, got to buy the groceries, got to do this, got to do that, got to take care of it. And it's like, this is where people develop hypervigilance, where they're constantly stressed out about things that could go wrong, and they're pointing it out. They're like trying to figure it out and kind of get in front of it before it happens. That's hypervigilance, anxiety, all of it. But that's what happens when we hunt bullshit. Now, if we hunt bullshit too much and too long, and that's the only thing that we're doing, that's how we grow bitter and jaded and judgy and bitchy. Now, the humans are designed to look after the negative. You're going to walk through the woods and make sure that you're paying attention to the wolves more than you are the deer, right? You're going to keep yourself safe because this is a world that you have to keep yourself safe in. So there's a little bit of kind of default looking for the bullshit as we walk through this world. But when you're responsible for other people, when you care for other people, there's going to be that. It's almost like we put these blinders on and it's like, okay, hunting the bullshit hunting. We have to hunt bullshit in this world, but we also have to get our joy in. And that's why I'm so adamant about what I call vitamin joy. Because if we actively get that joy, then we're not going to grow to be bitter, jaded, judgy, bitchy, any of that. So whether you're a mother or not, you're somebody who in this world is looking out for the bullshit. You have to a certain degree. But I want to make sure that you're not only looking out for the bullshit, you're looking out for the joy as well. The card that represents us this month, or this week, Mother's Day, is Page of Swords. I feel like I'm beating a drum when it comes to this card, but I'm going to honor my relationship with this card right now. In tarot, the swords are the mind. And what this card reminds me is that if we don't use the sword with skill, we're going to drop it on our foot, hurt ourselves, or God forbid, hurt somebody else around us. That's why I love the analogy of the sword and the mind. If we're not using the mind with skill, we're going to hurt ourselves or other people around us. Now, in this world, generally speaking, they don't want us to use our mind with skill. Because if we use our mind with skill, we wouldn't be able to be controlled as easily. We wouldn't be able to, go out and buy things as easily. A balanced person is not a controllable person. Is not a person that's spending lots of money to fill holes that didn't exist in the first place. So, please use your mind with skill. Now, easy for me to say. What I can say is that it takes practice, it takes training. And when you're not taught by somebody to use your mind with skill, there's a certain level of trial and error that you have to go through to figure out how to use it with skill. I have tools and techniques because I understand my mind is the thing that absorbs what it's taught and repeats it back to me. So my mind, the sword, is the thing that learned the ABCs. That can be a double-edged sword. It can cut or it can prevent or protect, because if my mind absorbs, if my mind takes in what it absorbs and then repeats it back to me, That means I can control it and I can tell it. I can train my mind. This is taking account for our mental health and going and understanding that we have more power over our mind than our mind has over us. This person in this card with skill and training can have more power over that sword than that sword has over them. It's just that we're not taught to use it with skill. If we're not using it with skill, again, we're going to hurt ourselves or other people. And I think the important part of this message is that what this does is this can absolve you from any sense of guilt. You know, we all have mental challenges, we all have mental illnesses, we all have mental stuff that challenges us. But it's not like a character failing. It's just that there's a part of you that hasn't been trained appropriately. Now, a lot of us can relate to this idea of anxiety. My question about people who have anxiety, and even I have a little bit of it, do I actually have anxiety, or do I have a mind that hasn't been trained to deal with the stresses that it encounters? We do live in a world where we have access to a lot of information, a lot of stressors that our ancestors didn't have. But there's a level of ownership where I go, okay, I'm going to step into this place and I'm going to train my mind. This is where self-help books, videos, therapy comes into play, to understand that this is a tool that we can manipulate and live with in a peaceful way. It just helps us so much. The card right now that vexes and perplexes us, our challenge, even though that sounded like a challenge, the challenge for us right now is this. Planning for the future, teamwork with others, all of it. Now, that's what the Three of Pentacles stands for. We can see these people standing here at this church. They're, looking to build and create for the future. It's difficult sometimes to create for the future when we're just here treading water in the present. I find this hard. I'm not a great planner. I'm too busy worrying about my day-to-day. How can we better use our mind to plan for the future? Now, what I love about this card is talking about, in the present day, using the wisdom of the past to plan for the future. I think that we all have mistakes and situations in our life that we've learned a lot from, but if we don't actually learn from them, we're just going to perpetuate those lessons that we experienced. This is that idea of somebody with really poor self-esteem. It's almost like a karma thing. Somebody with really poor self-esteem that doesn't believe they're worthy or beautiful will continue to accept. They'll compromise. They'll accept things that aren't good for themselves. They'll just allow things into their life that aren't good for them. This card is asking you to not do that. Learn from your past to plan for your future. Sometimes we have a challenge learning from our past because did we actually learn? Did we learn? Now, again, I'm taking this message in for myself too. Plan for the future, right? With the wisdom of the past, using our mind skillfully. Let's get some guidance. What's the card here that's all about the guidance? What heals and reveals? The Strength card. The Strength card is gentleness. So here's, I know, right? Strength. Like muscle strength. This is gentleness. Now, this woman is being very gentle with this lion. She's closing the jaws. She's coming under control. Just in the same way that we have a mind, we have a heart. We also have a spirit and we have a body. I like to think of this as the wisdom of the divine spirit and the animalistic nature of the body. We have to be gentle with ourselves. We have to be gentle with our body. We have to be gentle with ourselves. But this card brings into the idea that we all have this inner junkyard dog, and we have to be gentle with ourselves. Hating ourselves, beating ourselves up. If I didn't get done what I wanted to get done today, I'm not going to accomplish anything but beat myself up and go, oh, you're stupid, you're dumb, you couldn't do it. I'm going to be gentle with myself to increase that. How can we be gentle with ourselves as we're learning our mind? This is such an important lesson for us. But remember, no matter what you want in this world, you'll never accomplish it by being an asshole to yourself. You just won't. You won't ever accomplish it by being an asshole to yourself. You will accomplish it by being gentle and nurturing and caring and encouraging from a place of love and wisdom. That is our Tarot Snapshot for this week. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me ramble on. I hope this meant something to you. Much love to you and happy Mother's Day.